Welcome everybody to The Horizontal. This is season 1, episode 11, and we are gathered today with Nico, as he waved, Brian, who's geeking it up,
Hey, what's up?
and Nick, who left.
No,
Hey,
Nick always
guys.
has to make a big splash into every episode, so.
He did the Collinsworth. Alright, so we are week
13, 14.
14. Yeah, we're week 14. It's a Saturday night, December 9th. We're week 14 in the NFL season is tomorrow. Kind of already started on Thursday night. So get a recap. So the guys here, Brian's in second, clinched the playoff spot. Nico is 3 seed, most likely going to be in, but there could be a probability that doesn't make it.
Hopefully.
90% chance he makes it. I'm in fourth with a 60-40 shot of making it. And then Nick has clinched the toilet trophy, which is known as 8th place. Boys, how are we doing today?
Doing well.
Doing well.
Sitting in second, I can't get nothing to complain about.
Doing well in life, not good in fantasy.
That's fair.
You're doing alright in the other league.
Yeah, but let's focus on Mike's league right here. Your league.
All right.
It's not going well.
No, 2 wins, right?
2 wins, not competitive.
Did you win the first
Lost
week of the
9
season?
straight.
Did you win the first week of the season?
No, I lost to Alex by like 5 points because David Johnson and Allen Robinson both went down.
Oh.
But you were like, you had didn't you have your 2 wins early in the year?
Yeah, I started 2-2.
Nick was-
I could have easily done 4-0 because I lost to Josh by like 7 and Alex by like 5.
Nick was ahead of me in the
And
standings
then-
at one point.
Mike, yeah, you were last.
I was in dead last.
I was in like 7th or 8th. You and me were on the very bottom.
I was still scoring well, and I traded Gronk, and then after that, I'm not competitive anymore.
Yeah, but you knew that when you traded Gronk.
No, I thought Ajayi would do well, and Ajayi bombed, and I wish I didn't do that.
Did
It's
you
not
still think you
fun,
had a
just
chance at
not-
the playoffs when you made that trade?
I kept saying I have to start winning, and I just wasn't winning. I kept getting pissed off on it, so I tried to do something. And because Gronk wasn't doing great, he was doing good. I thought Jenkins could do somewhat of that, and if I put Ajayi in there, I thought it would help a little bit. I mean, and I got a 4th-round pick, which didn't hurt. But I didn't
Oh,
think
yeah, we're
I
going to
would
get into that.
bottom out this much.
Was
'Cause
Elliott
I
already out?
want to compete.
Yeah, he
I don't
was.
want to just tank out like this.
You know what he wants to be a Josh.
No.
I really didn't think. I
Although,
wasn't expecting.
Nick's team's doing worse than Josh right now.
I know. Josh traded his team away and got better somehow.
Yeah.
Apparently, if he didn't trade Brown, I think he would have been trying to get a playoff spot this week.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
No, I think that's actually what it is, and so that's kind of stupid.
I'd rather be me than Josh then.
Really helped Alex, the Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His team,
That
was,
ended up
his team was in trouble.
That
Even what, a 2nd-round pick?
4th.
4th? Oh.
the Brown trade ended up being like this year's like Jordy Nelson and Aaron Rodgers being on the same team. Like he just has reaped the benefits. Of
That's right. He didn't even have both. He got Roethlisberger from
Thanks, Nick.
Nick. Yeah.
You said when I made the trade that I scammed him and that I benefited from the trade a lot more than he did.
Who said that?
Big Ben did
I did.
suck like a while ago. So
I liked Ben a lot. I just kept losing, and I kept losing running backs. Lost David Johnson and Zeke, and then I just needed running backs. And I just
Yeah, CJ stopped playing.
if I was winning a little bit, I wouldn't have done any trades. But I kept losing, and I just wanted to shake things up a bit.
Fair enough.
Brian's the feel to be in second place.
it feels great. Talk about like a whole transformation. I mean, talk about like I traded Nick for Gronk. I mean, I thought after all the crap I took last year that Gronk wasn't going to be on my like playoff team this year. Gronk's my ride or die. I know somebody said like $20 says Brian has Gronk on his team by the end of the year. I was like, yeah, that's
Who said
probably going to
that?
happen. I'm going to make that happen. I don't remember. I heard it.
That had to be a Janko one.
It maybe was Jenko. I don't remember, but I think I heard that at the draft.
Someone definitely made that comment.
But are you okay like giving up next year just for this year? So you give up what your 2nd and 3rd-round pick, or 3rd and 4th-round
Third
pick?
and fourth. Third and fourth. And we'll talk a little bit about why that ended up being a thing. But Yeah, no, I mean, personally, I think I'll be able to manage. I mean, when you consider that my second and I believe my second and third round picks this year were busts, I mean, you just have to make sure that you hit on the ones that you have. So, gotta study up going into the draft next year. Also have like 3 12th round picks for some
That's
reason.
stupid. That's
I mean, I
crazy.
got Carson
Who's going to
Wentz.
be there by the 12th round? Because
I got Carson Wentz in the 12th last year, so
And you have Perkins in the 13th. So, I mean,
Hunt went in
hit
the
or miss.
14th.
And
last
Cameron Meredith in the 11th.
That's true.
So-
You just have to make sure you hit on the picks you have. You know, it's really the biggest thing. Hopefully, you know, maybe I'll swing a trade and move up to like a 6th rounder or something like that.
Who's gonna give
we'll
that
see.
up?
Not gonna happen.
no one hears. I don't think he's going to do that.
Depends on a deal.
Yeah.
Maybe he will. I'm not going to.
Yeah, like 3 minutes before the draft while they're panicking.
I don't know. I try to make Brian a lot of trades. One of them
This is
was
true.
including the pick that Gronk got picked.
Mhm.
And he just
This is
kept
true.
turning it down. He wanted Beckham.
Nick and I probably had the most almost trade talk during the draft of anybody. Like, every round, almost, it seemed like one of us was trying to, like... And then finally, we did string the trade where I got Chris Hogan in the, like, the 15th or something. I jumped over you. You got James White. But
Yeah.
that ended up being a good trade. Hogan was really good for me for the first, like, 8 or 9 weeks or whatever. And should be coming back this week, but I got him on to start him.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about the 3rd round pick for Fournette.
Well, there's a story behind that. When Josh had sent out the group text about, like my team's up for grabs, like, whatever, I texted him back. I'm like, yeah, I'll give you I'm trying to remember. I think what I said, I think I told him, like, a 5th rounder or something. And he was like, no, I got a 4th for Gurley last year. I'm going to need a lot higher. I was like, well, that's my offer, so let me know. And then, sorry, my computer's making a noise here. So he's like, I'll get back to you in a couple days. And I, like, before, you know, when the deadline was, and I was like, okay, I'll wait.
Days. It was Saturday, wasn't it?
Yeah, the deadline was on a Saturday. He sent that text out on, like, Thursday, I think.
You said one before.
So then, like, right before the draft, he, like, texted me. He's like, would you be willing to, like, give up a 4th for Fournette? And I was like, well, or maybe I texted him, and I was like, oh, like, you still interested? And he's like, if you give up a 4th, he's yours. So I was like, okay, I'll do the deal for a 4th. So I was like, he's like, send me a trade for a 4th in like a late round pick, and I'll okay it. So I said, okay, sure. I send in the trade. I wait a half hour. Now the text said he would do it as soon as I sent it in. And like 45 minutes later, nothing happens. And like I get a text that's like, sorry, Teach has bettered your offer with a 4th and like a higher later round pick. He's like, I'm going to give it to him unless you give me like a 3rd. And at that point, you gotta remember, at this point in the season, I was desperate for a running back. My best running back was Duke Johnson. Like, I was scoring single digits in my running backs.
What did Teach want Fournette for?
Well, at that point, Kareem Hunt was starting to go down, and he had lost Dalvin Cook to the ACL, and then, I mean, he has McCaffrey, but I think he was just trying to, like, be a super contender.
Completely unnecessary by him.
He's in first place.
Completely
Give up a
unnecessary.
4th round for next year.
So at that point, I was like, well, I mean, I really need a running back, and, like, I thought the deal was going to go through for a 4th, but it didn't happen, and I was like, all right, well, I'll give up a 3rd and, like, a higher later round pick, and then he was like, yeah, that's fine. He's like, he's yours. And at that point, I was like, is this going to hold me ransom for a higher pick? The deal's off. Like, I'm not giving anything up higher. But at the same time, I was negotiating with Nick for Gronk, and we had talked about a 3rd round pick, I think. And then
It was.
And then Nick texted me. He's like, all right, I'll do it for a 3rd. I was like, well, sorry, I no longer have a 3rd round pick, but I'll give up a 4th. So we ended up doing that deal. But
It would have been 3rd straight, and I got 4th. I said either a 4th and a Jai or a 2nd round pick.
yeah,
And then you just said, I'll do it.
yeah,
I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's right, I
What are
remember
you gonna
that.
do?
yeah, the Ajayi one, yeah.
Yeah.
But so that's the story of what went down at the trade deadline. I mean, you know, my personal philosophy is I'm not really high on running backs anyway, just because I think they get injured too much, and like you can't count on them to keep up their early season like performances. And I don't think Fournette was worth a 3rd, but I mean he had a great week last week. He I think he put up like 18, and that's kind of what I'm looking for that like RB1, and then I can fill it in with whoever is on my depth chart. Poor Kenyon Drake, who sat at the bottom of my like bench for the weeks, getting dropped for other like running backs, but I have a good enough stable where I can throw in like an RB2 that I can count on at this point. But at that point when I made that deal, I could not. I didn't have anyone I could count on, and I was afraid that could end up being a big problem come the playoffs.
So it's basically make the championship or bust.
Pretty much.
Because if you don't, you miss out on. Even if you lose the championship, you lose out on second place prize. Because there's no more most points, which you didn't even get anyways, or best record. So you're just like the second seed.
Mm-hmm.
Who
So
do you want to play?
Oh, that's a good question.
In the championship?
No, in the first round.
First round, I would like to play Mike.
Hello.
Wow.
That's fair.
Weak leg.
Yep. Because first round of the championship would be Patriots Steelers, and Tom Brady's going to put up 40 points, and I'm not about that trying to face off against Nico. So, and Alex's team scares me, but again, I mean, if Alex made the playoffs, I'd say Alex, but right now it looks pretty close that it's going to be Mike.
So
and
basically,
if
anybody
Alex-
but Nico. But you just don't want to play Nico. You're scared of Nico.
I would feel
take
uncomfortable playing Nico round one. I'd prefer Nico play Teach.
I wouldn't want that.
The two heavy hitters.
I don't want to play Teach.
Although Teach was beatable, I beat Teach last week, so
I beat Teach.
Everybody's beatable.
that's
Look
true.
at that. One of my 2 wins is against Teach,
Well,
That's
good for
true.
you.
and the other one's against Nico. I mean,
Oh.
Hey, Teach lost to Jenko. Don't
Well, I'll tell you, my team's very boom or bust. Jenko's team's not bad.
Jacob seems
No.
good.
Jenko does not
here's
have a
my
bad
Jenko
team.
prediction.
Actually, give
My
the
Jenko-
season a few more weeks. Jenko's fighting for a playoff spot.
My
More than
Jenko
fighting.
prediction-
He's probably a better team than me.
My Jenko prediction is that Jenko's going to win the other bracket.
The
There.
consolation.
Yep, because
I
Aaron
just-
Rodgers is coming back next week, possibly. That could be enough to.
And like Kamara just kind of got hurt, but like Kamara was scoring at least 25 every week. Keenan Allen the last 4 weeks is scoring at least 25 or more. Devontae Adams just kept scoring like 15 or more. Diggs has been playing good since he got back from injury, and Cam Newton puts up a lot of high scores sometimes. Case Keenum has been putting up 20 every week. So I don't know. Jenko's team was pretty good.
I would have given up a high pick for Kamara, but I think Jenko fell asleep before the trade deadline. I reached out to him first, and I never.
Oh, really?
heard
No,
back.
Jago's awake. He just wasn't on his phone.
Yeah.
No one,
'Cause it was like
no one negotiated with
I didn't
him.
think I was going to do anything
it
until
was like
this
10
guy
o'clock in the trade
texted me.
deadline, and I was like, Kamara was the one I wanted, and but he wasn't responding, so I had to get held
that was
hostage by
tough
Josh.
negotiations between me and Nico.
Yeah, it
that
was.
was like pulling teeth.
Yeah, I mean, I really didn't want to make a trade, but I will say I think it worked out. Tyreek helped me win the game last week. If I didn't have Tyreek in the game and I had any of my other receivers in, I would be in the same spot as Alex and Mike right now, and it'd be a lot harder. So
You're
that
welcome.
that was huge. And well, if I put Alex Smith in, I wouldn't be worried about anything this week because I'd be up like 80 points on everybody else. But that's another. I've really been mismanaging my team the last 3 weeks, but luckily I just keep winning. But I'll take it. Anyways, with the negotiation with Nick, yeah, I don't know. I didn't. It took me a long. I don't think I pulled that trigger until like 11:55. So
Yeah, the deadline was at midnight.
That one just made it in. I kept telling him, "Don't be the Browns." Let's
know.
get the trade through.
well, I kept looking into everything, and I had to make sure. I really had to make sure I thought I was doing the right thing before I did it.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt the pressure a little bit. Everybody else who was fighting for a playoff spot did something. I was like, I don't know if I can go on keeping my team the same.
See, the reason why I wasn't looking at Tyreek is he's good on the road and stinks at home. And the last 3 games of the playoff fantasy season's all at home.
I know.
So that's why I wasn't big on him.
Yeah. I guess we'll see. He's been playing well he kept going every other week, and ever since I've had him on my team, he's been good every week. So
No, but listen to this stat. At home, during the season, he had 9 points, 8 points, 8, 3, and 12. On the road, 26, 20, 18, 25, 15, 15, and 36.
Christ.
that is crazy. But
That's why I didn't like him that much.
That is a
that was
crazy
the fun.
stat. I think it's like partly coincidence. Like I don't know. I don't know if that necessarily. It's definitely something I thought about, but I don't know if that's like something I could necessarily be like. Oh, I don't know if I definitely can do this. Especially because like I'd trust a guy to find it back at home rather than trusting a guy to find it like on the road.
Yes, but you also have to trust Alex Smith, which is I know he's doing good this year, but that's always tough to do.
Yeah, you're telling me I benched him last week. I didn't trust him at
Jimmy
all.
G.
For Garoppolo, a rookie quarterback.
Well, I mean, if Smith
At least he
came,
got the double
if
digits.
Smith started that game out poorly, and the Jets been playing all right lately. If Smith started the game out poorly, he wasn't gonna. I think they were gonna bench him like halftime.
True.
And then where am I? I'm stuck. Garoppolo didn't have a bad game. He just didn't have a good fantasy game. He didn't throw any touchdowns, but he threw for like 290 yards. He led the team down. Like he played well, and he's got no weapons over there. And I knew that before I put him in, that I'm putting in a guy who has no weapons, so he's not really going to put up monster numbers. I knew that, but I was just worried Smith wasn't even going to like make it through that rest of the game. And I paid for it like brutally. It wasn't close. It wasn't like it was like 25-12. It was 46-12. So that was bad. But hopefully, I'm putting Smith back in. They're playing the Raiders. He put up good numbers against the Raiders last time. And the thing is with Smith, even when Smith played bad, he's never had a single-digit game. He's at least had a double-digit game every time, even the couple games he was bad. Brady put up 8 last week.
More than I can say. Dak went from scoring like 40 points a week, and then Zeke gets suspended. It was like -3 and then like 5 points.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
-6 with
At least
Dolphin
Smith
yards
will
now.
at least just put up the double digits, and he's got so many weapons on his team. You know, even if he doesn't have to like do anything crazy, but if he like screens it to like Tyreek and Tyreek runs for 70 yards, so Smith gets a 70-yard passing right there, and it's like they have so many guys. You know, at least between him and Garoppolo, the choice is because Garoppolo has a good matchup this week too. It's just because Smith found it back last week. The Raiders matchup's pretty good in 3. The weapons are just better. So I don't know. Hopefully that works out for me. I wouldn't be surprised if Garoppolo has a good game again, or like kind of just a better stat-wise a fantasy game. Because if he threw a touchdown last week, he scores 20, and it's like I know it's a lot less than Smith, but that's not bad. I can live with that.
Yeah.
Well, so you're the 3 seed now.
Yep.
I'm 4, and Alex is 5. Those are the last 3. Well, there's 2 spots left, 3 contenders left. So you're 8 and 5?
Yes.
All right, so you're 8 and 5. Me and Alex are 7 and 6. Nico is up 40 points.
It's 39 to you and it's 58 to Alex.
All right, so which means me and Alex have the same record, and I'm only 19 points up.
That's very close.
You can't get much closer than that.
And you guys are both playing teams that currently right now are playoff teams.
Right, that makes it interesting.
It's
have
not
to
like you
hope
guys
that,
are
like-
playing Nick over here or Josh.
Yeah.
You have to hope that on like Sunday Night Football, the Steelers' offense like plays down to the Ravens.
Here's the
like,
thing. We're not
they
going to
tend
find
do.
out a lot about these matchups until Sunday night and Monday night.
Yeah.
I don't know. Alex had a rough day on Thursday.
He did.
That's true. That's right. I forgot.
And
I forgot
Free-
you already had guys. Matt Ryan, only, what do you have? 8, like single
10.
digits? 10? You know, 3 picks.
Woo.
Freeman
He
had
got
15.
13.
Freeman at 15. What is he? Mark Ingram?
Yeah, he got 13.
That's okay. It's like it's good. It's not bad.
But then Teach had a good. He had 42 points.
That's right.
14 from Julio, and Thomas had 27.
Yeah, that's right. Thomas had a great game. Oh yeah, those are 2 good games.
I don't think he could beat Teach, but I think he's going to hopefully he can score more points than Mike, and hopefully
But if-
you beat Mike.
Yeah, that's just what it kind of comes down to too. Is Mike. You know, obviously Mike and Alex both want to win their games. I want to win my game too, but at the very least for me, my goal is to score like 160, and I think I'll be golden.
I
Yeah,
remember it was the last time I scored 160. What, week 4, I think. I'm happy when I get over 100 now.
Hey, I was gonna say, let's not forget my week where I got like 99 in Mike's league and like 9 points in yours
That
or
was
whatever.
an egregious. It's
worst
like
week
you didn't
in
even have that
fantasy
many
ever.
buys. That was like your every week roster. I was like, what in the world?
That was a flop.
The worst week in fantasy ever.
It happens. Everybody's. Well, I don't know if everybody's been there, but everybody's had something similar.
My worst week was week 1.
I had a terrible week
Nico's-
1. I scored like
Nico's was
110.
I beat Nico with 139 points.
Yes, it was the Chiefs Patriots game. That's what screwed me. Brady had like 2 points and more than that, but
Okay,
That was-
I'm
that
in
was
last.
terrible.
I'm guaranteed last. So I'm gonna make a statement. I'm gonna start Eli. You know, just go down with the ship.
hey, go for it.
All right.
Who are you playing?
He's on. I picked him up. He's there.
What are you playing,
He's
Josh?
starting on my team.
No, Janko's playing Josh.
Oh, so you must
I'm
be
playing
playing. Oh,
Oh, that's right.
hey, you know, if you beat Brian and I beat Mike and I outscore Brian by like 50 points, I'll get the second seed.
You guys would still play each other. I would.
Yeah, but I get the home field.
It's true.
He gets home field in fantasy. Yeah. But yeah, you guys should be banking basically 95% sure that you guys will be playing first round. So, I would get ready. It's a $50 game at least on the line.
Oh, true.
It's basically a money match.
Gronk better be unsuspended. Get his ass back in gear. All right, I gotta say, my biggest regret of the season,
Ooh, this is big.
week 3, Nick and I almost had a deal. OBJ for Gronk straight up.
Well, hold on.
We talked
Yeah,
about it.
let the other man agree to this.
Hold on. We talked about it, yes, but I never said yes to it.
No.
I kept saying, well,
Like, I feel like but see, I didn't want to get rid of OBJ. It was like just something we talked
I don't know
about.
if you can call that a regret.
Well,
yeah,
I
I
feel
didn't
like
say yes to it.
if I had wanted to get rid of OBJ, I feel
Oh,
like we
come
could've
on,
done
I'm not that.
I feel like we could've done it. I feel like we could have done it. You wanted OBJ. I wanted Gronk from the draft. We all knew that.
Yes, but again, Gronk is the best tight end by far. I've seen Beckham play, and I have a tough time picking Giants because I know what they do.
They stink.
Yes. Yes.
I almost
I mean,
got.
Gronk's not the clear number 1 tight end this year.
No, Kelsey's been better.
Yeah,
like
but
Kelsey.
I mean, he's up there.
Yeah.
He is, yeah.
I almost got
Season-
Carson Wentz for Ty Montgomery.
That's true. That's gonna be
Yeah,
your biggest
but-
regret.
It's close. Almost did it. I would have won the championship. I would have guaranteed that.
I almost gave up
tell you-
people for Jordy Nelson. What a terrible move that would have been.
I offered Alex Freeman for Nelson.
Wow.
You
He said
offered
no?
Freeman for everything that moved, okay?
What's that?
You offered Freeman to everyone that had any living player, okay?
Mike never
You
offered
want
me
Freeman?
Freeman.
You want Freeman? You want Freeman? I got offered Freeman I don't know how many times.
Oh, that's funny because at 11:59, I get
Yes.
5 texts in a row saying Breeze for Freeman.
Well, it would have been earlier if Nico made up his mind and made a
Good, I'm
decision.
glad
at
I held
11.
everything off.
If you made a decision, I would have pushed more for Mike.
I wasn't doing a trade at that time. I got Goff for a 14th. That was my favorite trade of the year.
Yeah, that's a steal.
Yeah, I don't know how that
That's a
happened.
huge steal.
How did Josh get a 3rd for Brian's Fournette, but he gave only a 14th for
I know.
for the
You gotta-
Goff?
That's who he's trading with.
You gotta work with the man. You gotta know how to. You gotta work with him.
Well, no, I think
I got
it
work
depends.
with him.
If
Brian, you should have
people
changed it
going
at like
after
11:50. You should have been like 7th round, like no deal. You're gonna have to keep him for the year.
Well, no, because then he would have gone to Teach, and then none of us would have had like stood a chance against Teach.
We would have been fine.
Fournette has not had good weeks.
He had 2 bad weeks. One of the weeks he missed because he was hurt.
That
And
counts.
The other week he put up like 9 points, and then I think he's back now. He has I'm pretty sure next week he has an easy matchup, and then
Teach still would have
he
been
has like
fine.
a tough-ish for like championship week. But
Teach has so many good players. You can't even start Jarvis Landry.
I know.
I don't know why he would do that. I'll have to ask him on the playoff
I know.
podcast next
I'd
week.
like to hear if
Yeah.
what the talks of that were.
Of which guarantee Brian Teach will be on next week.
It's true.
Hopefully me and you will be
Yeah, I
in as
hope
well.
so.
We'll have to make a visit down if that's the case.
Oh, totally.
Unless Alex, we'll have to Skype Alex in if he makes it.
Yeah. The Nico Mike couch is
So
available.
what
as always.
happens if Alex makes it, Mike's out? Do we have like a new host?
I host it, but I can't. I just ask questions. I'm not part of the discussion.
You don't like they don't put a muzzle on you and you go like in the corner.
No,
Muzzle.
I am the horizontal. Don't forget that.
Welcome everybody to the horizontal.
That's right.
Wow.
But I don't know. Nick, I hope you're excited next time I see you to get your toilet trophy.
I'm ready to flush this season down. And,
Wow.
it's not going.
Where are you gonna put it? You gonna put it in the basement? You gonna put it in your room?
It's gonna make the rounds.
I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Who would you like to thank the most for your toilet trophy?
Ooh.
Brian, if he never came to me for Gronk, I would have been competing and it would have been more interesting. So
think
Brian
so?
gets the.
Thank you.
The
I appreciate
MVP,
that.
hell, OVP.
You think if you still had Gronk, you'd be in this?
No, but it would have made it more interesting. There's a lot. I mean, he put up like 25 the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It would have made it more, sweatable for the other guy.
All right.
I'll tell you, like, one of my regrets as well was that at that trade deadline, when Josh said Antonio Brown or Fournette are available, I thought about Antonio Brown, but he had just I didn't trust Big Ben at that point in the season because Antonio Brown had a few weeks where he only put up 9 points, and I was like, I have decent enough, all my receivers are pretty good, and they're all getting me 15 points a game. I was just Antonio Brown hadn't been that Antonio Brown until after the trade, just boom, 40 points.
I didn't think
35
Antonio Brown was
points.
going to be attainable via trade. I thought that was going to be you got to give up
A
first
first.
or second round. A fourth
literally
round? That
with
was
first overall
crazy
pick.
to me. I can't believe that happened.
I would have rather given him my fourth for him than my third for Fournette.
Yeah, if you were going to give
I
up a
assumed-
third for
I assumed
Fournette, you could have got Brown for the third easily.
I assumed the price was a first. I mean, Josh took him first overall.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even want to ask. I was like, what am I
Yeah.
going to have to give up my first round for the next 5 years? And do Josh's homework?
He does that though. When we talked about golf, he said no lower than a 12th. When we first started, he goes, I don't even want to talk if you don't do a 12th.
Yeah, I should have talked to Josh.
Josh tried trading me Marshawn Lynch for Carson Wentz. Week 2.
Imagine if that happened.
Oh, that would have been embarrassing.
And I responded, I don't think Marshawn Lynch is the same Marshawn Lynch. He's he bowled over a linebacker last week. I think he's the same Marshawn Lynch.
Right.
I was
So what do we think? Josh has 12 picks in the first 2 rounds next year. Is Josh gonna make the playoffs for once?
nope.
No.
All right. Well, there we go. Absolutely no faith.
Well, me and Nico talked about it. What do you think went wrong with his season? We'll chime in after, but what do you guys think?
All right.
Well, a few of his losses I think came down to luck, just simply because
That's
we
good
just had
point.
I haven't looked at his
weeks and bad
schedule
weeks.
really. I don't know how his matchups went.
But I mean, that being said,
Painful.
I mean, I don't know. Let me look at his roster real quick.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Not up to
he
date.
went a lot with Tennessee, and that did not help.
That's true. Yeah.
They did not live up to expectations this season.
And Dez and Cooper were nothing this year.
He fell in love
I mean-
with players.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not high on Dez or Cooper, and Dez had a bigger role in the Cowboys' offense when Romo was there, but not so much anymore. And
I don't mind that one. I think Dez, I thought he would do better than this. They don't even look at him.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I don't think he drafted well in the late rounds.
no,
I think that was a problem. I think everyone else at least hit on someone in the late rounds, and I can't even think of someone he absolutely nailed.
His last 6 picks or 7 picks were Bilal Powell, Terrence West,
point total
Ginn,
is pretty low.
Minnesota D, Matt Bryan, and Kaiser. I mean,
Well, Josh, the first 4 or 5 weeks was number 2 in points too.
yeah.
He fell off a cliff quickly. Our prediction was basically Josh is has a bad record, but so if his team stays the way it is, he's gonna vie for a playoff spot.
I think
Yeah.
Josh's late round drafting was not very good.
Yeah.
And then he just got a little unfortunate at the beginning. The way he went kind of the receiver heavy was, had a good idea behind it. Amari Cooper just isn't having a good year. And then, Dez, he's not really having a great year either, which that was kind of a choice for me because I thought he was kind of trending downwards anyways. And then who was his number one? Brown. Okay, Brown was fine. And then his quarterback choices, I don't know, maybe Josh just gets too attached to people or something. I didn't really like the Marcus Mariota pick. Cousins is fine, I guess. I thought Cousins last year was going to have a better year than he would have this year, but he's doing all right.
Let me just say
I didn't like the running back choices that he got either. But Fournette ended up being better than I thought.
Not in PPR, no.
And,
Let me just say as well that
Lynch.
I think, speaking from experience, a big problem with Josh's draft strategy was that he's drafting from the one hole. I mean, granted, I understand I took Gronk first overall, but there's a certain panic that sets in when you pick first and then you don't pick again until, like, pick 16. And, you know, you kind of lose the chance to get, like, the A.J. Green type players and...
But he had an extra fourth, though.
But I disagree on that, too. I mean, would my team be better if I had David Johnson all year?
That's true. Well, that's
I mean, I was
thing.
close in a lot of games in the beginning. If I had David Johnson,
Yeah.
that puts me to the next level.
I mean, the other thing is, I don't think Josh's beginning of his draft didn't go well. And I think it got a little unfortunate, but like the idea behind the guys he was picking weren't bad.
Yeah.
Oh, just kind of just missed. I mean, it turns out I didn't really draft that great in my first couple picks. Anyways, Hilton isn't having a great year. Second round, DeMarco Murray, fourth round. So, it didn't really work out for me either.
Yeah.
I didn't even have a fourth.
Yeah, there
Turn
you
the
go.
club.
Mine was a bust.
Teach, on the other hand, he hit on everything.
Yeah. Peach had an excellent draft.
He went with the rookie running backs again, and they worked out.
Yeah, I know. Last year he went. He got Elliott
First round.
first round. Jeez,
Yeah.
It was a stretch, but it ended up working out for him.
dude. I don't know if I could trust
So-
someone like that, but
How high is Barkley going to go next year?
Barkley's not even that good.
If we had a 30th round, maybe.
It's just been looking so good, though. I mean, like you said, these rookie running backs just do so well.
No, you got the
but-
guys from Tulane.
You got the wrong guy. Barkley, no.
You get the guys from Tulane the third round. That's who you get. The guys you never heard of.
No, Elliott was in a big school. Fournette was at LSU, wasn't he?
Yeah, those guys were big names and they performed very, very well.
Well, they were top four picks as well.
I don't think this year's running back class
Barkley's
is
going to be a top pick.
who.
Barkley. Saquon Barkley.
Barkley's gonna be a top 5 pick. Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who said that?
Well, the mock drafts is saying it.
Oh, really?
Really?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I haven't seen. I just didn't realize.
Yeah.
Who do you think's gonna take him?
I saw a couple weeks ago that the Browns take him at 1. So, I mean,
Really?
he's in the discussion.
That would be a
of top
mistake
pick.
by the Browns to take him at 1.
I would love for
So
them to do that.
obviously not out of the question in that case.
Right. I would love for them to do that because that'd be like a disaster.
I don't really know where the Browns have to start, to be honest with you. Well, I mean, obviously they need a quarterback, but they need a lot of other things.
Yeah, but
I
if
don't
you
know
get
why
a
they
stud
bothered
quarterback,
wasting
you
their
build around
picks
it.
on Kaiser. Picks.
Well, they got Josh Gordon,
Oh my God.
who's fantasy
Yeah.
relevant again.
Yeah, played against him last week, scored like 12 and a half.
I love Josh Gordon. I'm glad that he's back in the league.
Wonder where he goes next year, huh?
He won't go too high. He's going to get picked.
I think it
Jack will
depends
probably
on who
take
the
him in like the
quarterback-
14th round.
I was gonna say
Like
like
Brian,
maybe
like
8th or
one of his
9th
12
round.
round picks.
No, he'll go before that.
You think?
Yeah. You go like 6, as high as 6.
Yeah, 5th or 6th.
I don't know if I'd take him with my 5th pick. It's a little risky.
I mean-
for me, I don't know.
Well, I think he'll have the same thing that like Terrell Pryor did last season on the Browns, where he's like the only guy on the Browns who's like catching anything.
He's more talented than Pryor.
That might have been
Well,
the worst pick
yeah.
of the draft this year.
Oh,
Briar in the
Oh.
3rd round.
oh.
That's a
That was
disaster.
bad. I knew
I
that
got
was bad
also
when it
Jeffrey in
happened
the
too.
6th.
Or-
So
I said this to Nico the other day. I said I didn't think at very rare occasions where one player might ruin your entire team. I think
Yeah.
Pryor literally ruined Janko's team. Like it ruined like him any chance of like winning early, just because he started him.
Yeah.
I feel like it cost him.
What you doing, Brian?
I sneezed.
I thought it was a dab.
No. This is a family show.
Yeah, just blowing his nose.
Jeez. This is a podcast, not a video.
No, this is just
So
a
many
podcast.
Videos. Viewers.
But I don't know. Tomorrow's a big day. So who's
Well, yeah,
so
tomorrow's
the Sunday
Tuesday.
night is Steelers Ravens,
Steelers, Ravens,
Yeah.
and then who's Monday night?
Patriots.
Oh, right,
Pats, Dolphins.
right.
Oh, Mike.
Yeah, I know. That is big because I would have Bell, Bryant,
Cooks.
and then Alex would have Roethlisberger, Brown.
Bell. No, does he have Bell?
I have Bell.
You have Bell.
He has Bell in your league,
Oh, okay.
who I'm playing against as well. That's
Yeah,
another story.
That's true. My playoffs in Nick's league, I'm gonna have Brown and Brady that I gotta wait for.
Damn.
I
That's,
really hope I don't lose to Ricky this week.
I mean,
there's no chance.
I'm worried that I've won too many games in a row and it's just gonna
you're not going to lose this week. I said in my analysis,
I like
bet
the
all
analysis.
your money on you. It's an easy
I'm
bet.
afraid of that too. All the jinxing that always happens to me, but we'll see.
Hey, if you have trouble, just ask the almighty chat, and always delivers.
Yeah. Well, I'm not so sure about that anymore.
Just bypass that one.
Brian, that might cost you in the first round of the playoffs.
That's true. All my reliance on
You
supernatural
used it up
help.
too much.
Yeah, Brian is only granted 3 wishes. You
I
used them all like week
that
7.
1 week.
An interesting fact. So, me and Nico have, in all the years we've ever played fantasy together, we've never played in the playoffs.
I think in the consolation, but
Well, yeah, I still don't count that. But like winner's side, we'll call that. So, if me and him win in your league, we play each other, and then
Yeah.
there's a chance me and Nico would make the finals too,
Yeah.
which should be like that's
I
That's
mean,
pretty
I
crazy.
don't count Ricky as a contender, so I think you have a 2 and 3 shot. One of you making it.
yeah. Yeah, I just gotta beat Alex, which Freeman kind of saved me.
Yeah.
Nick, I got a question for your league.
Okay.
Since there seems to be a lot of turnover every year, who's not making it back in next year?
Who's not making it? And I think I'm set with the 12.
You think
I mean,
so?
there's only
What?
12
new
people's
people this
a lot of people to wrangle. You think they're all going to make it back next year?
It is. Maybe one drops out, but I mean, I like having the 12, and I mean, having 12 teams is always tough to
He's gonna kick
keep
Brian
everyone
out.
in there. But no, I
But you don't have
expect
anyone in mind right now that you're planning on giving the axe?
Not really. I mean, the one kid that doesn't pay me every year until next year starts, maybe. But he's been there for 13 years. How can I can him? Please tell me, how can I can him?
Just tell him to pay.
Well, we got rid of some of our people, some founding fathers.
That's right. It's a tough job, Nick.
My advice: don't win it all. Because usually when you win it all, you're not in next year. So
All right, actually, I have another thing to bring up. Maybe we can wait, but or should I just bring it up now?
Just might as well now. It's perfect time.
bring it up.
All right, maybe this is time to clear some air between Mike and Nick about their differences as commissioners.
Oh boy, here we go.
What, the most points problem?
Well, just I don't know. You guys seem to have look at things very differently from your commissioner
Yes.
standpoints, and I know you guys were kind of getting into a debate recently, so I think some people might be interested in hearing.
Listen, all I said was most points should be the tiebreaker. That was my point.
Most points shouldn't mean anything in a regular season. You win the matchup, you move on. You might have a good week, you might have a bad week. Wins mean everything.
The wins do, yeah, but if you
Yeah.
both have the same amount of wins, then
Then it should be head to head.
no.
If I beat you twice in the regular season, but you have 10 more points in the regular season, who the hell cares? Nobody cares.
The
If I
points
beat
do.
you head to head, I beat you.
The numbers say I was a better team that year.
Numbers say I beat you. I'm a better team than you. I should make it to the next round if there's a tie.
I don't know. I'm with Mike here because I mean, overall, it's kind of a total thing. So if you had more points, this is one of those games where the stats matter, and whoever statistically scores
So
more
then
points
I have a question.
is a
for
better
you.
team. It's not like you guys are going out every week
What
playing
if
each other.
What if you beat me on a bye week? That I have all my guys. Are you really a much better team than me?
So then
a
why
good
have
point.
head-to-head scoring? Just do points for 16 weeks. Whoever's the most points in 16 weeks wins.
That gets rid of the fun because you'd be out of it week 5.
Okay. So if I beat you, go, Brian.
I was gonna say I have to agree with Nick here. I like it.
Oh.
If me teach,
For once, he's not by himself.
I'm not trying to get kicked out of the league here, but like if Teach and I are both
Watch
10
out.
and 2, and I beat Teach twice,
Yeah.
but like Teach has more points than me, Teach would have the
This
top
isn't
spot.
real football.
Yeah, your
know.
teams are not the same every week. It's not like you're countering them with your style. It doesn't work like that.
Doesn't matter. If you beat the guy, you should have the tiebreak on.
Ah,
The more points you have, is your team was better.
right. It's not like you guys are gonna put the pads on, playing each other.
So my team. So if I had Elliott, I beat Teach in the beginning of the year. Now Elliott's out 6 games, so my points went down. You should go back to when I had Elliott.
It's
I beat him.
no.
when I was at
That's
my
the
strongest.
same argument you just made. I just made against
Yeah,
you,
I
saying that
know.
if Teach beat you, that means you were without Elliott. So is it credible? It goes either way.
I disagree with that.
Why?
I just feel if I beat you, I should have the tiebreak. That's all I'm trying to say.
In real
And it
football,
means-
yeah.
We're not getting anywhere with this. All I know is I've had my league longer than yours, so I mean, let's go with the more inexperienced owner.
Let me also add that I know
Grow
he's
up.
not here right now. I know he's not here right now, but Teach also agrees with Nick because we've discussed this.
Well,
Well, okay. Well,
Done with
You
you.
can
it's
bring
always
us
good
on
to
our
have the
own island
phantom vote.
No,
but yeah.
no. Everyone else would agree with me.
well, not the
No,
other 3
Alex
people.
agrees with me.
That's almost half. That's half the league.
Yeah,
It
the
depends on what league you're in. My league thinks it's a good the way I have. Your league, mostly, I mean, seems like half your league doesn't, but you
Yeah,
know,
that's
that
what
is true.
I-
Half
No
your
one's-
league doesn't believe.
no one's brought up that problem to me.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I just like the Nick way, but I mean, I have no problem with the way we have it in this league.
Brian, you're telling me you wouldn't be frustrated if you outscored me by 200 points, but I beat you one week that I made the playoffs? You'd be mad at
Yeah, I mean, you beat me, then yeah, that is what it is.
even that high of a point total, but because like convincing you are way better than me. But I just got one fluky week that maybe you had like two quarterback buys. Are you really? Am I that really much better than you?
I mean, I don't really think I'd have a problem with that. I mean, if I lost that week, I mean, it's like
Oh, I'd be
like
pissed.
in real football, if you
I'd
lose
be
a
upset,
week when
too.
you have like no quarterback, then yeah, you lose.
But it just doesn't make your team better. The points say this guy had more points, hence he's better. I thought that's how I've always
I
thought
mean,
it
I
was.
see where they're coming from. It's kind of just the unfortunate thing about fantasy football. It kind of just comes down to your matchup.
But I mean, I've seen
it doesn't always work
the
that
most
way, but-
points in a league could fall to like 6th or 7th seed in my league, and they could probably fall to 5th seed in your league. Are you saying they should make the playoffs no matter what if they have the most points in the league?
No,
They could. Why not?
I
Score
just
the most points in the league.
You're-
Apparently for
you're
you,
missing-
That's the most important thing.
you're missing the fine line I was creating. I said fantasy football would be boring if we didn't have wins or losses because it would basically be clinched by the end by week 8. But like, I'm just saying for tiebreakers, if we're going just by tiebreakers, this is all I want it for. If it's just tiebreakers, I'm just saying if you want to compare teams who should make it, the one that most points should make it. That's
Now,
it.
We should clarify a little bit. This is a major decision because this is for the division title, and in my league, the division title gets a top 3 seed. The way it happened this year
Yeah, it's the
is
2008
Mike
NBA
and
season.
Somebody else both had 500 records fighting for the number 1 seed in their division, which makes it that big drop off from 3 to
8.
was it 8? I think.
Yeah.
That's why it's such a big dilemma here. I mean, usually, okay, 1 seed, okay, who really cares? But this is a big drop.
That's true. There's usually not this much of a kind of an issue.
No.
I'm just surprised the top 3 division winners got the seeds.
Yeah. Well, because
I didn't
mean,
deserve the 3. I'll admit it. No way.
Yeah, Shrine got a little screwed, but
Definitely.
I had the 3rd most points in the league. I'm the 5 seed.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have been sixth. If we're gonna go by points, I was really sixth best.
Well, then I should have been the 1 seed.
Yeah, whoever the 1 seed, the guy that's the 1 seed is a giant fraud.
I don't know how. I mean, I was the only one to beat him until last week, and then Ricky beat him. But I don't know how he's up there. I didn't think of him as a good team. I thought he was the worst team in the division to start the season, and he's the one.
I'm
Yeah.
the 12th seed either way, so.
I was behind Shrine like the whole season.
Yeah, but
Right.
I wanted to play him over you the first week at least.
I'm glad I got the 2. Yeah, I didn't want to have to face you in the first round. I'd rather be the 2 seed.
No, the 7 and 8 I feel are weak.
Right.
6 and up are strong. That's what I.
Yeah, I mean, typically about half the league's competitive. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
Usually it's never this top heavy. Usually you got like 2 teams that are they're definite like contenders.
Yeah,
The rest are like,
there's
oh, yeah,
there's
you
a
might
big
have a
drop off, kind of between the top and the bottom in your league. But there's also just a lot more teams. So
True.
It's
The
funny,
long
my
season.
my league, if you actually go by the wins-loss standings, it goes in points order as well. It just happens to work out both ways, which
That doesn't usually happen.
that's rare.
yeah, that doesn't always
That's
happen.
that means everything that happened.
Right, everyone's
it's
kinda
legit.
where they deserve to be, I guess.
Now, the only way that could be flip-flopped is me and Alex. Like, say if Alex won, but I had more points. That's the only. Other than that, I think that's how the stands are gonna stay.
Mhm.
Which is actually, I kind of like it like that. It's pretty nice to have that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always nice to like mix it up once in a while, but like have a nice like year that like, all right, this is where I belonged. Now the players will tell a different story, but
Yeah.
depends whoever gets hot. But I know Nick, you have the 8 seed. Well, last I guess there is no seed for
Yes.
the playoffs,
Dead
but
last. Yeah.
so you have 30% odds of the first pick.
Mhm.
So do you like that?
I was going back and forth on that. I don't usually like the high seed. I like to go like 6 or 7.
Pick?
Wrap around.
Yeah.
I believe you were 6th last year, I'm pretty sure, right?
No, he was 2.
He was
Weird.
2. He got
David
Johnson.
That's right, yeah.
So who you getting with
That's
the
why
first
I'm
pick
kind of
next year?
surprised. That's why I'm surprised.
Oh,
Like
that's
I
pretty
thought
honest.
the worst record you had 30% chance of picking your spot. Like I could pick. I got the first one. I could pick where I want to pick.
We actually talked about that. We're gonna talk to everyone else about it. I think next year I'm gonna do just like draft order, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be against like even mixing it up, like go back and forth sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I feel,
Like mix it up. Like no.
Well, I mean, I don't think seeding really means anything for next year. I think you should put everybody in a hat, give them each odds, and pretend you pull your name first. Okay, what pick does Mike want? He gets this pick. Who's second?
Well, you deserve the highest odds of what you want though, because you finished last.
No, I don't think so. It's a new season.
Well,
I see where you're coming from, but I think because we just have we're gonna have the same guys now. I think we like to have it like a league feeling.
Yeah.
I think it's the reason.
I don't know. I kind of wish I finished in 6th so that I don't get the 1 seed or have a less possible chance of getting the 1 seed.
I mean, 30% doesn't. That's definitely not a guarantee.
Yeah,
At
we
the
did
first
a lot
pick.
of
but
those,
I'm
like-
guaranteed the what, top 3?
You're base. If you want to go by math, you're basically just about guaranteed top 3.
Yeah, which I don't think is good.
third picks.
I had third
I had the
pick.
third pick 2 years ago, and I had a pretty good team.
Yeah, third pick's done well.
I mean, it depends on the rest of the picks. I mean, do you want a stud, David Johnson, or I don't know who's going to be top next year, but
But look who got
one
hurt.
of those guys?
You know,
Or do you want like an AJ Green, Mike Evans? I mean, not this year they didn't look that good, but
Green's having a good year, right?
it's an okay year.
We're on and off. I don't know. Nick, who are you taking with the first pick next year?
Saquon Barkley?
Thought I'd get you to give us something.
I mean, I don't know. Brown, I don't like the pick because Brown, there's Brown and Bell. So there's a lot of like he's not the number one guy because you have Bell at the back.
Brown and Bell
here.
could very well be picks 1 and 2 next year, depending on
I
who's
know,
got
and
the
that's
spots, I guess.
I don't know. Ben's gonna go down. I mean, he's not gonna.
Yeah, he could retire.
See, and okay, if he retires, who's gonna fill in that spot?
Oh, Landry Jones.
Yeah, okay.
Eli.
So does David
Eli, there you
Johnson
go.
back healthy?
I'd
Do you
pick Eli
trust
if he wins the
Carson Palmer
Steelers.
there?
David Johnson, he'll probably go late first.
Yeah, what do you
maybe.
think's gonna happen to Johnson?
Late first?
Yeah.
Oh, I
I don't think he's
see.
gonna get picked in the top 3.
I was thinking he's going 1. So,
I mean, unless he, I don't know. I don't know what you're gonna do.
well, yeah, that was.
Listen, I wouldn't even prepare for next year. I told Nico this. I wouldn't even prepare for next year's draft.
And next
'Cause
year's gonna be wacky.
Just because you can't even do a mock because literally like the picks are messed up.
No, I need
Yeah.
time to recoup from this, and I might go like on a spiritual walk or something. Go to Cayman Islands. I don't know.
in the
I-
third
I-
round, Josh is already gonna have 2 quarterbacks. He's gonna be working on his like wide receiver 3.
Yeah.
So
I got 2 fourth-round picks.
that's
Hopefully
good.
I could do something.
You should be
with it.
excited for that.
You got 2 fourths. You got 2 eighths, right?
Yeah.
Well, this is where it makes the lottery exciting this year. So, all right, we'll bring Brian's example into this. So, if Brian does, and I say bad in the lottery, I mean that he gets a low pick.
Say he gets 8.
So if Brian gets 8, that's good.
That's great for me.
Yes, because you get the coming back.
First pick.
You get a high
Yeah.
fourth. But if Brian got first out of nowhere, then you have a low fourth, almost a
Yeah.
fifth.
It's also, I feel like if I get a low pick too, it's good for me because that means that I'm picking like I get basically what I did this year where I had like AJ Green and OBJ.
Yeah.
You're basically getting like 2 first rounds, and then like I won't pick third, fourth, but like I still have those 2 like first rounders that kind of fall.
Oh, that's right. 3rd and 4th. Oh boy.
So, well, even think about that. Either Josh or Nick is getting a high third or getting a high pick from Brian,
It's gonna be a wacky.
unless he finishes like 4th and 5th.
Yeah.
Unless that happens.
Well, it looks like it's gonna help me and hurt Josh the way it's going. Josh gonna get late 3rd. I'll get high 4th.
Yeah, and just to clarify too, Nick, I'm just gonna say Alex doesn't make the playoffs. I'm just gonna say that.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Nick, Josh, Janko, and Alex, their lottery would already be set up. So like their lottery like percentage, they'll get in the first pick because they're out. The playoff teams, wherever they finish. So the consolation, I think matters. So like you have to. So if you want like a higher like a lower pick, you gotta win the consolation, or at least odds.
Okay.
Right. So like Teach could be the whatever the number
So
5.
see me and Nico lose in the consolation. Whoever wins that one gets 6th best odds of first pick.
Mm-hmm.
So like your pick is already set, the non-playoff teams. But odds, I
don't
should
want that
say.
top 3 pick.
I don't think we trade rights to the lottery odds. I'm not
Well,
that.
I could. I can't.
You
It shouldn't
can,
be
right? If someone really wanted to swap spots, they can, right?
I remember after the
I guess so.
I
wouldn't want to do that though.
After the lottery last year, like nobody was comfortable in their positions. There's a lot of talk.
I
going
wanted
around.
to switch my spot.
Yeah. I wasn't comfortable with mine.
I'll never switch my spot. I think like if that's what I'm chose to be, I'm like that's I'm
that's what
destined
the
to be.
fantasy gods chose.
I'm
to be,
destined to
man.
be
Much
that
divine
pick.
intervention.
But it's also, I mean, it's weird knowing like 2 months in advance.
Oh yeah, it's horrible.
So we did it on NBA draft night.
Yeah,
Something like that. Yeah, it's terrible. You gotta sit with whatever pick you got for the whole 2 months.
we're gonna make it more with next year
And like
too.
at some point, you know what you're gonna do. And like at some point, I decided I was gonna get Brady with the 4th pick, and then I knew Jenko was gonna take Rodgers with the 5th pick, and that was just information I don't think anybody had, including Jenko himself.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, my thought was that I drafted 7th, and then Alex drafted 8th. So, because I never drafted like, well, when we did it in Knicks League, but like I never like really had any experience playing with Alex before, so I didn't know like the kind of players he was gonna go for. So I took AJ Green at 7, and then I was like, all right, I want either Mike Evans or Jordy Nelson with the my next pick. And he took in that order. It was like Mike Evans and Jordy, and I was like, all right, well, I guess OBJ. But like he ended up drafting me exactly the way that
I can't believe Beckham.
Brian, I was furious that happened.
Second round.
I was
That
furious.
ridiculous. But I also knew that was going to happen because I knew a lot of good receivers were going to get bumped down to the late round. So
Once
I
you
don't know.
took
Maybe
Brady
you can
and
credit me with
Rodgers
like
went.
screwing the league. That's why I like Teach's team so good and Brian's team is good.
Remember when Josh had the whole league like figured out the whole like
Oh, I
first
knew he
8
was
rounds
wrong.
of the draft? I was like, yeah, the quarterbacks go first round. Everything just blew.
I don't think he was
blown up.
expecting that though.
No, he wasn't.
I think Josh got caught off guard, and
Very
it
caught off.
it ruined his plans for like the mid
You
round.
can't plan for the mid rounds. You never know what's going to happen. You
Just
never
like
know
me
who's going
drafting,
to take
like-
Joe Mixon in the second round.
He had me drafting like Deion Lewis in like the 3rd round.
You
My whole
just
draft
you
was just
never know
straight
what's going to happen.
Patriots.
Okay. You can plan for maybe the first 2 rounds, but beyond that, you never know what wacky thing someone's going to pull out.
Especially
It's gonna
next year.
ruin your draft.
Yeah, at least I know a little bit more about the scoring. Like I was going, I know you guys show me it, but still, you don't know until you play a season.
No, I know that's
look
a
for
good
it.
point. I think a lot of the other teams for their first year, didn't have an easy time last year. Brian and Josh, or Brian, you guys were both kind of towards the bottom, right? Brian,
6th seed, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
Even Teach went 6-8, but he just got hot.
Right, he just had kind of a good playoff run, but yeah, I mean they all adjusted into the league. So
Because I'm used to standard, I'm not used to PPR. So,
no, it's completely different.
Yeah.
but again, losing
PPR
3
no
of my
standard.
top 6 picks, doesn't help.
No.
No, your team got very unlucky.
It did. That was rough.
I mean, you had the chance to have Elliott and Johnson throughout the whole year. That would have been like a lethal combination.
Yeah,
Those guys are at least put up, 16, 17 every week. And it's like Breeze. He's another consistent guy that you had. Allen Robinson. The Jaguars are having a good year. Robinson could have had a big year. You see what Marquise Lee's doing right now.
yeah. But I mean, honestly, if I had this team next year, I'll be happy. The same exact team. That I drafted.
The Gronk listing?
Not now,
Okay, I was
the
going to
team I
say. I was like, without Tyreek, without Gronk.
No. The team I drafted.
You had you had Breeze and Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
That was good too.
Breeze isn't doing that great this year, and Ben was doing bad, but I knew he was going to turn around because he's great at home.
Right. Well,
I
Breeze
just
is still like
kept,
a 20 points a week guy, isn't he?
In the
Yeah.
beginning, he was around that 15, 20. Breeze was like 20, 25.
It's good. 25.
It's
a
good,
lot of the
but when
quarterbacks this
the
year.
whole rest of the team's not doing well.
No, I know. Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's a good point.
And I kept losing running back, so I had to get Jordan Howard. I had nobody. I lost Zeke and Johnson.
Yeah, that was tough.
What are you going to do?
Here's something I thought about the other day. Who would you like call? I guess your team MVP or your season MVP.
That's a good question.
I have 2 wins. How can I have an MVP?
Maybe not you. This is kind of more of a question for Brian and Mike, I guess.
Let's see.
I probably have to go with Le'Veon Bell or Jimmy Graham.
I'll go Sammy Watkins.
It's a good choice.
I'll go with Bell.
Gotta be Carson Wentz.
Wentz, yeah, that's a big one. I think mine might have to be Larry Fitzgerald. Just because he's just always so consistent. I have a lot of boom bust players.
Yeah.
Fitzgerald's always just very, very consistent for me, and he's someone I can rely on at receiver all the time. And a lot of my receivers have shuffled in and out, but Fitzgerald always puts up good numbers every week, and he's on a bad team. He's got these quarterbacks changed 3 times, but that's why he's one of the best receivers ever.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
How old is He's old, isn't he?
33.
2.
I
Oh,
think
that's it?
Yeah.
he's like 34.
He came into the league young.
Okay.
Yeah, we looked it up recently. He was in the 2004 draft, and he was like 21 or 20.
Okay.
13 years ago, it's like 34. But I mean, he's gonna be done soon. He signed like a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
Next year probably maybe be his last year.
What, do you think Palmer comes back?
I don't know if he does. I don't know how much of a difference it makes, anyways.
But I think the big thing is, where does Alex Smith go? I don't see the Jets. I don't think the Jets should get him.
No, definitely not. Not the Jets. That's heading in the wrong direction for the Jets. The Jets basically have Alex Smith right now on the team.
Yeah.
That's true.
Smith will go to someone who thinks they're trying to contend, but it's not really going to make a difference anyways.
Denver?
Because no bad team wants Alex Smith because, I mean, unless they're going to try to do the same thing the Jets try to do it this year with McCown, it's kind of a transition thing. But, like, I don't see the point in getting Smith if you're a team that's rebuilding.
True.
Maybe a team kind of on the cusp. I don't really know.
I think Brian's right with Denver. I mean, I think that's a good fit.
Yeah, Denver
Thing
wouldn't
is,
be bad.
I think Denver's defense is over the hill, and especially next year they'll all be a year older now. But like Elway's, I feel like just got like enough ego to be like, nah, we're just a quarterback away, and I mean, maybe they are, but
Maybe, I don't know. Jacksonville, maybe, depending on how much
Eli.
more of a leash they got with Bortles there.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I don't know. Arizona, I mean, that's they lost Johnson this year too. They're not a roster.
No,
I
but
think
can
that's
you rely on
completely-
Palmer, though?
No. Yeah, and I guess what's the difference between Palmer and Smith anyway? So
I would take Smith.
I would too, but
I would too. He's younger.
he is younger and he's probably better at this point.
Yeah.
Although it's like Alex Smith is he's not going to win a championship. He's going to retire without having done
Oh,
much.
yeah. That's why he's perfect for Andy Reid.
Not even make the
Good
playoffs.
record usually, and then bounce in the first round.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Can we get a like pairing of like Marvin Lewis and Alex Smith?
Please.
Andy can't. They can't ditch on Andy.
I might have to start him tomorrow.
No.
Depending on what happens with Stafford.
Yeah.
Is he going to be out?
Dalton has not
Maybe.
been playing bad.
No, he's been playing pretty good.
Yeah, I might have to.
Dalton hasn't thrown an interception in weeks. He's been putting up like 22.
I have to monitor it heavy tomorrow.
I mean, just so you know, you can't pick up Eli because I picked him up.
I wasn't planning on it.
I know. I just wanted to make sure you know he's in the starting lineup.
All right. Guess we can get into some predictions. All right.
Oh boy.
Oh jeez, I don't want to like say anything that like jinx
Oh,
myself.
I will. I don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to you.
All right. All right.
Sorry.
Okay.
So, Nico, myself, Alex, who doesn't make the playoffs?
Alex.
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 I'm going to agree with
Which I
that.
apologize, but
I think Alex.
Just
No offense to the other two here. I think Alex probably has the best team, but it's just the matchup.
wow,
Interesting.
I am so scared of Alex's team.
wimp.
I think Ben against Baltimore is not good with Ben and Brown.
I think it'd be huge to keep Antonio Brown and Todd Gurley out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
It would.
That's all I'm saying.
And Gurley against Philly, that's not good either. So
That's true. Nobody wants to
doesn't have
face
the
Antonio
matchups.
Brown in the playoffs. I'm gonna sneeze.
Bless you.
Yeah.
All right. So, with that, basically, we'll just go by our predictions. So, that means I would play Teach in the first round, and then Brian would play Nico in the first round, which means 3 out of 4 would be playoffs here. Sorry, Nick.
Nick, you play the role of teacher.
You play Teach.
I mean,
So
I gotta look at it.
if you think about those matchups, so you can't say yourself. Well,
What?
Nick, but who do you think is going to win the championship?
You can't say
Of course,
yourself.
I can't say myself.
I'm not you,
Oh.
Nick. Yes, deflate the ego for once and tell me if it's not you, who is it?
I'll pick Teach.
I said this about I think 10 weeks ago, and I'm gonna stick with it. I'll go with Nico.
Let's go. Let me say, hold on. Thank you, Nick.
You're welcome.
I have to agree with Nick. I'm gonna say Nico.
Oh, jeez.
That was my pick.
Wow.
Jinxed here.
And I mean, it's nothing against like Teach's team. I think Teach has the second like mightiest team, but it's just been trending downward the last few weeks for him. Like Kareem Hunt hasn't even like hit double digits in the last few weeks.
Brian
Like,
thinks Alex is a better team than me, and Brian picked me.
he's vulnerable.
So would you pick Al? If Alex makes the playoffs, is that your pick for the championship?
That was my pick in the last podcast.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That might bite me in the butt. But so, yeah.
Let's-
Nico, did you choose?
Yeah, I said Teach.
Oh,
I just think he's top to bottom. He's got the best team in the league.
The safest pick. That would be Teach's second championship appearance in a row.
he lost last year or won?
Yeah, he lost last year.
Has anyone gone back to
I go.
back?
I go. Oh, it's wins?
Yeah, championship wins back
No.
to back. I've made it in the.
That's never
championship
happened.
back-to-back, but I lost.
Teach making it.
That's
Teach-
why I became Jazzy's Revenge. That's
Teach-
the first revenge, Brian. Stupid.
Teach making it to the championship next year would be the third time we've had a repeat in the championship. I think, if I could off the top of my head,
Yeah.
but
So if Teach wins it all, does he get kicked out?
no, I'll answer that. Everyone's safe. The horizontal will break it now. Everyone is safe for next year.
When is my contract end?
That's pretty bold.
Nick's on his rookie too. We got him for like.
Who is the last person who won that's still in this league?
Wow.
Is it you?
Me?
It's gotta be Mike.
Conspiracy.
Wow. He said my league's shady.
Wait, you didn't win after me?
I think I last won like junior year of high school. Or
No, wait, you won in 2012. You won in 2011 or something like that, and I won in 2012.
something like that.
Yeah.
Besides you two, who has been in this league more than 2 years?
No one.
No one.
Wait, what did he say?
Besides us two, who's been in the league longer than one or 2 years? No one.
It's Janko, Brian, and Josh all came in the same year, and then it's just Alex and Nick.
It's a new age, damn it.
Wow.
It is a brand new age. We got a cleaned house.
And out of the house.
Yeah, true. Let's wait a couple years. We'll get another new crop of people.
Wow.
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 See where I stand.
Nico's the only one that gets kicked out.
Maybe. Well, I told you, I just start my own league when I get kicked out.
So I might have to kick you out of my league before you kick me out of yours.
No,
I still
I
wish
just said no one's getting kicked out. I just said that.
I still
I
wish
don't
we
want
had
to
done
stay in this
Nico's.
league anymore, you know?
You guys need to grow up.
I
What's
still
that,
wish we
Brian?
had done Nico's. I said I still wish we had done Nico's 5 quarterback league
Next year.
next year. I think we should do
Hi,
it.
quarterback.
It's supposed to be a 4-team league. 5 quarterbacks.
5 quarterbacks, 4 teams. Like, I don't know, it's like 6 receivers each.
Like, it would be like the NBA draft, like 2 rounds.
All right. This is it, boys. This is a big week.
This is, yeah.
It's the last week of the regular season.
Every week here from here on out, it's big. I never want to lose again, so.
I just want to get it over with. Stick
Yeah.
a knife in me.
Well, I think the knife's been in.
Oh, I was in after. I fell on it a couple times. Keeps getting deeper and deeper.
Sad.
So the next time we'll be live is we'll have all the playoff teams listed. So I guess the next podcast, I guess everyone talk about what's going to happen is we have this one, and then we have a playoff one next week. We'll probably do a possible champion one, like both teams in it, like a short one.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have like
Good game.
we'll have a long champion.
Yeah.
One.
Champions should have just their own podcast now, Mike. Yeah, unless it's Mike.
Yeah.
The solo show, just
They
talk.
should just talk.
They'll do a lot of talking, whoever it is. The champion perks, once again, you get the trophy. You get $150. You get your own podcast, and your name goes in the bio on the Twitter page.
Ooh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I just
Cool.
broke
Okay.
that one.
How about the toilet?
You get shit, literally.
Can we get a picture of Nick with the toilet?
No, we declined that.
Oh, okay.
The champion gets a picture. That's another thing.
Oh, okay. What about
So-
awards night? When's that happening?
That's gonna be discussed in the off
Can we
season.
do like? Can we play like the bum ba-da-dum ba-da-dum ba-da-da-da, like when they like bring the trophy out? Like Kurt Warner like brings out the Super Bowl trophy.
Yeah.
Well, there will be a
Everyone
video.
gets to like pat it.
So I guess I can say briefly. It's gonna be a video of like me giving.
Yeah, there's
Give him the
video
trophy.
of Mike like driving over to who's ever house and then like knocking on their door.
The-
They're like in their PJs, like, who is this?
Oh, that's not. So the picture, the cover photo on Twitter will be changed to me giving the trophy to whoever, or if it's
Oh,
me
good. I was
just
gonna
holding it
suggest
up,
that,
or Nico giving me the trophy, something like that.
All right, yeah, sure, I'll be the backup
One of them.
VP.
But yeah, that's kind of the champion perks, if you want to call it that. So basically, like the Twitter bio would be like
A lot of good
this
stuff.
year's current champion at whoever the handle is,
That's cool.
and then you get to hold that trophy until the championship of the next year. You hold that for a long. Nick, you hold the toilet.
Nick's gonna try to sit on that toilet somewhere between before the next year starts. That's my guess.
Nick,
So I just get. Do I get a presentation though?
yeah, I can give you a
Yeah,
presentation.
awards night. We should take a video of that too. Drive all the way to Connecticut while video Mike
All right,
the whole
oh.
drive there.
Awards night will still be discussed. I don't know if we're gonna do
Hey,
that.
I mean, my birthday's only in a few weeks, so
NFL honors, yeah.
Brian like rents a tuxedo.
Oh, not this again. Oh,
But
uh,
yeah, that's gonna be coming with it. And then we'll have, I guess, basically the future of this is those podcasts, all the championship stuff, and then we have to have like the owners discussion, like if we want to, what do we want to change, what we liked, what we didn't
that's
like.
gonna be live.
That's not gonna be on the podcast. Like that's just gonna be all 8 of us like on Skype.
Yeah, I guess what's the point? Who's
Yeah.
gonna listen to it back?
Yeah,
Unless
well-
we catch anyone on the record, it'll all be on the
Yeah.
record.
And
You know, if I
then
say something stupid.
we'll have the lottery. We'll have more podcasts like previewing, and then we'll get back to the next season.
Season 2.
So, I should mention the champion podcast. That's the last episode of the season.
Huh?
So basically, we're looking at around episode 14 would be the last one of the season.
It's a decent
Okay.
season.
So that's the schedule looking like right now. So those listening, project your as early as Wednesday and as late as Saturday. Next Saturday would be the champion, the playoff podcast, which is guaranteed to as of right now teaching Brian, and then we have to fill out the other 2 spots. Any last words, everyone? Anyone?
Last words?
No.
I don't know. Hopefully tomorrow goes well.
yeah. Hope my team doesn't crap the bed.
I got a toilet for you if you do.
Yes, Nick, I will get to try to give you that as soon as I can.
Yeah, take your time. You know.
No. This you get what you deserve.
I guess I'll throw this in there as a last word. Derek Jeter's a crock.
Derek G's a crock. We'll save that talk for another time.
Yeah, it's a little teaser. It's the next time.
Until what? Teaser until what?
I don't know the next time we can fight about this.
But for now,
Or debate. I don't know. I thought Jeter was fine until recently.
but
I don't know. That argument seems a little flat to me. But what do I know?
for now, we will end it here. It's a good talk, boys. Thank you for listening. This will be on YouTube very shortly.